This is Daf Yerushalmi in the article Oz Bahar Dishma Daf Lamed Zayin Amar Alf, the second line from the top. Amar Rabbi Yaakov Idi B'Shem B'Yonasa, which in the Vilna is on Lamed Amar Alf, the third line from the bottom. Rabbi Yaakov B'Shem B'Yonasa said, "I'm no adam atzov milech beis medrash. A person should never refrain from going to the beis medrash because you never can tell what you might miss. Shari Kampa in the show halachas to be Yavna. Several times this halacha was asked in Yavna, the following halacha, until they finally got it. Arebas Hayarden, the Kilya Shas here says, "Ein korban edo dvarav tmuim." The korban edo says it's about a boat from the Jordan River, and the question is Lami hi tmea. The Lami tmea do shar sfinas toras to see derech an yabalev yom the shir my yom tar sfina Torah. So how come if other boats are tar, already the Jordan boat is tummy. So Gina Shah says Udvar Tmuim. It's astonishing what he says. The man the matar tzfina shim derech aniyah b'leiv yom. Those who say that ships are potter because the pasuk of derech aniyah b'leiv yom, which from which the darshan, just like the yam is Torah, so too the boat is Torah. Gam Rebus Yarden Torah. The Rebus Yarden is also Torah. And Rabbi Chanina, who's what we're going to quote, lo svile hacht Russia, usfina Torah mishum the lo dami lesak. So rather, there's nothing to do with that drasha of there aniyah b'leiv yom, as to because in whole that drasha it has to be spina is boat. A boat is not similar to a sack, which is metaltel mole berekon, which is carried empty and full, and whereas a reba se'aron is mishum metal teles. Because it's carried empty and full, as the Gemara is going to explain. Okay, so the Gemara says, so there was asked, Adam Dover. Nobody was able to explain it for many years. Tignos came to Darsha Biro, and he dashed it in his city, presumably the base medrash in his city. Reva said in Lami Tmei, rise the Reva said in Tmei, where the Jordan was spoken, Ishmael said, Peros, because you carry full of fruit, and you carry it. Unlike another boat which is not portable, the Reva is small enough that it's portable. I'm using it to transport fruit from the sea onto the earth and from the earth onto the sea. So that's metalta mole verekon. It's carried both empty and full, whereas a boat which always remains in the water, it's not like a sack, and therefore it's not like a normal klikibul, and it's not makabel tuma. Also dash like this: charayas shegodan, charayas which were cut up. Bein l'shchiva, bein l'olim tzichos kishon. This is to go reverse back to the city. So yesterday, that the palm fronds they need to be tied together, whether they're for the purpose of lying down, for the purpose of tents. They evidently need some sort of significant tikkun in order to be considered to be kalim. A sivut so asked Harein in Daito the Ashkelon. So these are similar boats from the town of Ashkelon, which are also seen to be used, carried empty and full with fruit from shore to sea and sea to shore. Amrayitza Berleza is said shiny no, evidently they never clean them completely out of the water. So they're never fully carried. They always remain part of the water. I guess they kind of like beach them. And then they would take stuff in and out of them. They never actually remove the water and carry them around. Empty and full. I said the Rabbi Bar Chana, Rabbi Chanina. So what Rabbi Bar Chana said is, what do we see what he saw? Yesterday that bein l'shchiva, bein l'oli and tzrichim kishur. They have to be tied for both. The charesh shadaka have to be tied, whether they're intended for like the shchiva or for olin, just like we just saw in the name of Rabbi Chanina ben Tigros. And that's in fact this is what it says here. Asher Baba Chanina. But Gemara says the Mar Rabbi Chanina. it goes like a different statement, which Rabbi made as well. The which is that only Ha'inim Rabbi Chamas Garar. We went up with Rabbi Chamas Garar. Vayom Melanu Bachul Lachem Chelkei Avonim. Choose for yourselves. Um, um, well, actually, we're going like the other statement, in Rabbi Bar Chana, which from yesterday. He said that you don't need a Maisa Godol. The Gemara had said that Chizkiah said, Lo dam k'shed the Rabba only, k'shed the Rabbi Abba Chana only. K'shed the Rabba only, not shishos called Kotzim or called the Hutzim. K'shed Rabbi Abba Chana, but K'lelim Achi Elem Tar Keli. So it's a much more symbolic, lesser amount. And that lesser amount of time which it requires, that's like Rabbi Chaina's following statement. Now, only Rabbi Chamas Garar, Vayom Melar, Bachul Lachem Chelkei Avanim, choose for yourself. In other words, even just by designating, which is of course much lower than fully fixing the pieces of stones. And the stones were not suitable intrinsically for sitting, but he said choose them for sitting tomorrow, and you're allowed to be metalto them tomorrow. The Rabbi Zira Ma'achi Kardem until you chisel them a bit. So he says that Bechira itself is not enough. So it seems like Rabbi Bar Chana is not going to Rabbi Chanina, it's going like Rabbi Zira. So the article points out that Rabbi Zira is an interpretation of Rabbi Chanina's same name of Rabbi. The Rabbi Zira is not arguing; he's saying that he's about to argue the Chavraya, but he's saying, what does it mean? Bachru sheikardem. You have to chisel him. But Chavraya may actually shove safe until you rub them a bit, which is the Kormei learns it's a later stage, and shikarte means to chisel them, and shev means to rub them after chiseling. I'm not sure you have to say them. Could be say that. It could be say it's less of a ma'isa. I think article brings down here from the Bavli that the shavshe means to clean them of dirt. So it means less of ma'isa. It's also ma'isa though. It's less of ma'isa. It could be actually a shave more of a ma'isa. It says or less of ma'isa. That seems to be from the Bavli. In any event, both of them require some sort of ma'isa, which would be the same thing, like we said, Rabbi Bar Chana. They need a ma'isa. It could be a ma'isa zuta, a small ma'isa. You need a ma'isa the charoya shultekel. The Tzipore said no. If the Utzira said no, you don't need any ma'isa whatever. Designation is sufficient. Rabbi Yochanan Achi Leim Torah Kli. He says they have to look like a keli, which seems to be a much more advanced stage. Ashkas Omar, so it comes out that the Rabbi Abba Bar Chana, it says Rabbi Chana Bar Abba, the Korban agent changes to Rabbi Abba Bar Chana, and was that what I said? I don't remember now. Rabbi Abba Bar Chana and Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yonason is kind of all one shita. The Rabbi Abba Chana said you have to do a ma'isa ktsas. Sorry, Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said that it has to have a Torah Keli, and Rabbi Yonason is the one who said that tzrichos kishur. So they all hold the same thing. Now, Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Shmuel Yossi Chada, they hold that you need a Maisa Rav, a significant Maisa. The Rav was one who said, yesterday's Gemara Chavash Shagin Lashuba Ansu Kishor Loolim Tzricha Kishor. Loolim they need a significant amount of Kishor. Heavily, they have to be fully fixed, and that was Rabbi Zeira said Achi Kardem. So it sounds like Achi Kardem is a more. It's like not a Korban, like it sounds like the Bavli. That Achi Kardem is a later stage than the Chebraya. I'm not sure still. Anyway, it seems that Arkad Shikadem is significant because Chabraya is going to come up. So maybe I take that back. I don't know. We don't know about Chabraya. So Rabbi Zira and Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi uh, hold the same thing. Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi said. Shmuel Rabbi Yossi said that in terms of, we said yesterday the hides, he said that the hides have to be tied. Well, we said it's not the biggest mice in the world, but obviously Gemara holds that that mice is a significant enough mice that he can include in those who require a significant mice. And Tziporoi, Rabbi Yosef ben Shol, Rabbi Chlap ben Shol, Chada. They hold that machshava is enough. Tzipori said that about the stones. Rabbi Shol said it about the tzavar shel koros. And we mentioned yesterday the similar about suar shel koros. And Rabbi Chalafta ben Shol said the same thing by mukin. All you need is designation. Whereas the Chevraya, Leitzlunzuk, the Chevraya who said by the Abonim that you need to be Meshafshev. Again, there are two possibilities about that. Is a very small Misa, nothing, or it's a very large Misa, more than Achikaidim. Anyway, they don't put it into any category. Either because it's a tiny Misa, everybody else holds at least a small Misa, not a tiny one, or because it's a very extensive Misa. Right? It's the last, it's like a Gemara Malacha. Everybody else has need a Gemara Malacha. So we had those who hold a tiny Misa. I'm sorry, those who had a small Misa. That was the first Shita. That was Rav Chana Barabba of Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yonason. And Torah Kli evidently doesn't mean at advanced stage. It just means that it has a Misa cut into it. Then Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi, who hold you have to have a more significant Misa. Again, we should say yes from Rabbi Yossi saying tying is not so significant, but evidently from here, Marzoni is significant. A more significant Misa. Tzipoi, Rabbi Yosef, show, and Rabbi Chazim, and show who hold you don't need any Misa, just designation. And Chevraya, we either hold, all you need is a tiny Misa, less than a small Misa, or you need a Misa Gomur, which is above and beyond the significant Misa of Rabbi Chana Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yonason. Okay, next Mishnah. Imloki so mi bod yom. If you didn't cover something from beforehand, from before Shabbos, even something which is not mostly Hevel, you can't cover after dark. Kisomi is gala. If you covered it from before Shabbos and then it can be uncovered, mutar chasos, you're allowed to cover it again. Ma'as kiton, you can fill up a container, and notice the titles of carbohydrates you can put it underneath the a pillow or blanket. So Carbon A says in order that it should get less cold. It's not what the Rashi says in the Bavli. The Rashi Bavli says it's order to preserve the cold. Okay, I have to look at Shari Carbon. I guess he probably explains why he deviated from Rashi's shot. Article crime size steps the issue. Okay. It brings down both pshatim. It says the Quran is pshat the Ramban, the Rashba, and the Rit from the Ran. Okay, so it says Gemara, notlo, if you remove the object, the pot from the insulation, during the daytime, you can put it back into the insulation during the daytime. If you removed it from after dark, you put it back after dark. Nothing you took it from, took it by the insulation, before Shabbos begins, and then Shabbos began. Said if the place where the pot was inside the insulation became ruined, that got messed up, so it's usher. Now the Shas points out that the implication of that is that in this Kalkla Guma after Shabbos began, it's not a problem to put it back. Yeah, beforehand we've heard cases where it said in this Kalkla Guma you're not allowed to put it back. So how do we resolve it? Here it sounds like it's only a problem in this Kalkla Guma from before Shabbos begins to after Shabbos begins, and elsewhere we said no, even Kalkla Guma on Shabbos itself you can't put it back, and he says it depends what that material is, if it's muktzah or not muktzah. If it's our case over here, it's not muktzah. So if it's not muktzah, even if you took it on Shabbos, it got ruined. The guma got ruined. We're not afraid of the whole issue of Shemei Asa Chritz, which you said according to Yerushalmi is the main problem. We're afraid you make Chritz, then you're going to do Chritz in a place where it's Asa Daraisa. It's not an issue because it's not a muktzah thing. You're not going to get mixed up with something else which is muktzah. So therefore, you're allowed, if it's the gal guma on Shabbos itself, after you got the pot, you can fix the guma and put the pot back. The only time the guma is a problem is where it's not where it is muktzah. If it's muktzah mamish, so then on Shabbos it's guma. That's it. You can't put it back. Even if it only took it out on Shabbos and put it back on Shabbos, it doesn't matter. It's guma. You're finished. Can't put it back. If it's not muktzah, so then of course, like we said on Shabbos, it's not a problem. But it is a problem, says the Gemara. If you took out the pot from before Shabbos, then it's guma, and then Shabbos begins. Then it's like a chatchila. You can't put it back. No good. Okay, now the Gemara talks about a different issue before it comes back afterwards to our issue of our Mishnah. But mikir mutter, you're allowed to take from one pot to another to put another pot. No, I'm sorry, from one oven and put another oven. How do we know that? I was serving Rabbi Chia Gadol. He said, I brought him hot water from the lower floor to the higher floor. I put it back afterwards, even though it was a long delay on the pot, on the oven, on the stove. Rabbi Shimon said, no, not only that, even to go from a stove which is of lower heat, to a stove of higher heat is mutter. But mikir litmina aser. Go from a kira to atmana situation is aser. Mitmina kira aser and vice versa as well. What a mitmina tmino? In this case, over in this guma, right? Can you go from one tmina situation to another tmina situation? So I consider to be a continuation versus atmana or new atmana. Tzvicha, the Gemara says we don't know. Sorry for you. Teku. Yerushalmi tzvicha is like teku in the Babli. This can be a yom. Okay, similar situation. If you came, the hatmana came uncovered from before Shabbos. Before the time we took out the pot, now the came uncovered. Say about you can cover me by then. Came uncovered after dark. You can uncover it after dark. What about if it became uncovered before Shabbos and then Shabbos began? Although the word tzricha does not appear here, it's the same thing. The Gemara doesn't answer the question. New thing, Tani. You can't do atmana even davar shein mosif hevel after dark. I'm even exclusive kelim, but you can add to that atmana. You can add blankets and objects. So how? Okay, it can't be from scratch, obviously, because you're adding on. How much has to be there to begin with? Rabbi Tzvika I feel map, even just a cloth on top of it. All right, Zero said about davar shemo has to be something which is insulated, effective in insulating some way, shape, or form. Anything is effective. Anything is insulation in some way. So no matter what it is, it's good enough. On right time, then said Vios. It's true. Makes sense. It's good. If you have a ratio, if somebody take a rag and put it on his head when it's cold, it does not diminish the cold. So anything is effective in some way, shape, or form. Okay, now let's say the one says so the shita, this rabbana and this brisa is this so you can't do admona to maintain heat after dark, so you can't do admona in snow or something else to maintain cold. Rabbi Matir, Rabbi permits it. Hazer Shulba Abba Dok Hamaisa. So Rabbi Shulba Abba asked on that first thing. So Yerushalmi Shabbos is going on the first mission on our parak, where we had in the first mission on our parak, it had said that the first halach on our parak, it said that according to Rabbanan the Tamon, it's also to do atmana also by Tzonin, and the Vilna that was on Avchav Hamid Beis. Is it there? No. That's the third part. Chav Chesem Beis. Sorry, not Chav Hey. Chav Chesem Beis. That's Rabbanan Taman Asur. That was in Chav Chesem Beis in the like I said in the Vilna, where was it in the article? Lamed Hey Aleph. Lamed Hey Aleph in the article. So in that first halacha, they asked from our Mishnah. Our Mishnah said, "Me'malis kitum noset tachas hakeses." We're allowed to add more of it. Time I had them so as a kid was a mile shamayim noset tachas hakeses. Elak Rebbe. So maybe you have to say our Mishnah is like going like Rebbe. The Rebbe Matir, the Rebbe said just now Rebbe's Matir, and not like Rabbanon. So we have to say. So, and then our Mishnah is not going like Rabbanon, it's only going like Rebbe. No, it says Gemara kan l'shah kan l'shos. The whole issue of being mat mitzvah, we said it's because of bittul beis hamedrash. So that if it's done l'shah, so then everyone holds it's mutter because no big tircha. There's no chashash bittul beis hamedrash. But the shos is the machlokes. Tanakama Rebbe, Tanakama holds it's bittul beis hamedrash going to involve in making a long-term refrigeration type insulation, and Rebbe holds not a problem. So Rabbanan Tam hold like Tanakama that it's a problem. And our mission, which is matir, to put the ketone under the car, it's because it's l'shah, it's temporary, it's not for a long-term situation. Okay, Hadranulach Bamet Taimnin. Next parak, Bamet Behema. Bamet Behema Yaitza, Bamet Ena Yaitza. What can an animal wear when it goes out the outside of your courtyard, and what can't it wear? Yaitza Gama Be'afsar, a camel can go out with its leash, it's whatever it's called by a camel, the lead thing it's called, which is tied to a head, hanaka, which is a kind of wild, well, one says it's a dromedary, that's according to Rashi, or it says it is a female camel, and they made some other type of camel. So the Anoka goes with it goes with a metal ring which goes through its nose. Evidently, this Anoka requires more shmira, so therefore can even wear this nose ring. But leave the cuss, which is a Libyan donkey, which one is going to discuss. Prumbia, with a prumbia, which is another type of metal harness, which goes through the mouth of the animal. And evidently, it requires. I was going to say a regular chamor, it's enough to have an afsar, but a Libyan chamor is more wild and requires a stronger restraint. But sus bashir, a horse can go out with a collar around its neck. It's called a shear. Anything which needs a collar goes out with a collar. The Yerushalmi Shabbos can be drawn by its collar. You can sprinkle paraduma water on it. It becomes tame. And sorry, I got interrupted there while it's on the neck of the animal. I'm not sure those words got in there. Okay, so it says Gemara. The four animals which can be drawn with a leash. A horse and a mule, a gumball, a camel, chamor, a donkey. China said, Simona, and this is the simon for this is from a pasuk. The pasuk says, Magifas hasus haper v'gamor v'chamol. This is going to be a pasuk. It says there's going to be a plague on the sus, the paragamol, chamor. They won't mention that pasuk. Rav Amar, look, Rabbi Shua, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi, who says that these four animals can go out with the leash and be drawn by the leash. Livdikus, Istaidani Lakdikus. Mandamar Livdikus, Hashem Lubim, Bekushim Mitzadov, the Libyans and the Ethiopians in their steppes, in other words, it's the place of Libya. Mandar Lagdakis Abmatis. It's language of Abmatis. Okay, what is it, Abmatis? Says the more Chamor Salak. a donkey, which according to Moshe comes to a place comes from Ashur, which is called Siluk. According to the according to Ada, it's a chamor shechol los b'mayim l'shukbo. It's an amphibious donkey. It can go in the water, and that's Rambatus Lashem Ambati Sherochtimbo. It's like a bathtub. It goes up like can go up. It grows up like a camel. Okay, a whole bunch of different opportunities here, but all of those things are called lagdakas. Yerushalmi Shabbos has some insight on that. No, not really. Okay, so the Gemara says, I'm Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Yoshe Boy. Rabbi Yonah asks, Ger Boy Lubim, a ger which comes from Libya. Mantim Lem Shosh Doors. If it says Libya considered to be Egypt, and you have to wait 3 generations. But that already is now we're on Lam Chesam Rav, and we've gone long enough for today. So we'll stop here and pick up the Sugya of Mitzvah Shem tomorrow.